In this video, I'm going to discuss 5 permanent residencies that you could grab in 2024 so that in 2025 you're looking at a better life. And the reason why I'm making this video is because of a lot of tensions, a lot of problems, a lot of conflicts, a lot of issues with countries outside. You have shootings, there was a recent attack on the ex-president in the US. A lot of countries are facing this critical situation. You got to be prepped, right? Hopefully the times will be good in future, but if not, you want to have a permanent stronghold in a country. Some of my clients aren't open to the idea of a temporary residency. They want to like to hear the word permanent. So this video is going to focus solely upon all the important permanent fixtures, right? So you get the permanent residency, you have a good stronghold, no one can kick you out for any damn reason, right? So you want to have that in place. I'm going to discuss some very important options, not just in Latin Americas, which are permanent residencies. The focus is going to be on quick permanent residencies, flexible permanent residencies. Apart from Latin America, I'm going to cover other parts of the world, which is Africa, couple of permanent residencies in Africa, and one very useful option, a bonus option in Europe. It's going to be really important. So make sure you watch this video right through till the end. Before we get started, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss out on any programs, any unique opportunities. There are a lot of changes that happen to these programs and I try to cover them on the fly. If you aren't an advanced member, take this opportunity and be an advanced member so you get some insider notifications ahead of time, ahead of any video before it's created. All right, now the first one on my list, let's target Africa's first for a change. One of the most beautiful permanent residencies, the most flexible permanent residency with no expiry date. And you heard that right. Some permanent residencies aren't really permanent. For example, the green card in the US or the Canadian permanent residency, these aren't permanent. You got to live there in order to maintain them. But unlike that in South Africa, the permanent residency that you get, it does not have an expiry date. The only thing that you got to keep in mind is that you got to turn up physically once in 3 years to keep the permanent residency alive. But that's the only criteria. It's a great, solid permanent residency, a flexible permanent residency. The only financial commitment you're looking at is the donation of 6,800 USD. In future, once it's the time to collect your citizenship, let's say it's in the year number 5, you just do the bare minimum physical presence on the ground, you qualify, become eligible for the citizenship. A lot of people won't think about the South African citizenship just as yet unless they're looking for a redundant passport, but the permanent residency is the key over here, right? You want to have a geopolitical diversification in the Africas. So South Africa is a good option. The second on the list is again in the Africas is Mauritius. Mauritius has excellent options for depending upon your age. If you're over 50, you can directly go in, no issues. You have an excellent residency choice, a flexible residency choice. You don't have to kickstart your plan B at this time. You get your residency, and then obviously in future when when it's the time to execute on it, you always have that secured. Either it's a conflict that you're trying to escape or some crazy situation. Let's say there's a political party you don't like and you want to take some time off. You can always keep this in the back pocket. If you're under 50, it's a business investment. You're just looking at a $50,000 investment in diversifying your assets, right? So this is no donation. This is no golden visa fees. This is your money. You're diversifying in a safe jurisdiction, and that way you can collect a beautiful residency in Mauritius. So these are the two options in the Africas. Let's switch over slightly to the Latin Americas because Latin America offers the most bang for the buck, the flexibility, the ease, and all of that, right? So this is a hot area for a lot of people. It's away from all the conflicts in the world. It's really removed from all the conflicts. They don't interfere in anyone's business. They give you a safe location. The first one on this list is Panama. In less than 30 days, you can get the direct permanent residency. All you're doing is purchasing a property inside of Panama where you and your family can live, or you want to rent the property, then that's fine too. But you're getting an immediate permanent residency in Panama. The biggest, I think, positive with Panama is that it uses the US dollar as the main currency. So from a currency perspective, you're always secured. The other big benefit of Panama is that it has some excellent connections, not only to the US or Canada, but it has excellent connectivity to rest of Latin America as well as Europe. So from a flight perspective, you cannot go wrong with Panama. The third big advantage of Panama is that it's a safe country. It's an upscale elite country. So let's say you're used to the Canadian or the American or the British or the Australian lifestyle, and you want to continue maintaining the same currency or the similar currency or a strong currency and the same or similar lifestyle, then Panama does have that to offer. A lot of rich expats from rich countries are all flocking to Panama, either to actively move there and start living their life or to keep this as an excellent elite plan B. And most of the people doing Panama would want to use this as a half-time residency. Maybe it's 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, whatever. It's an excellent tax optimized solution as well. Yes, it does get some bad rep, but as long as you're doing this smart and as long as you're playing by the rules, keeping things legal, again, smart is the key. You got to play this smart. It can be a great addition to your portfolio. The fourth very important thing about Panama is that it has gotten off the gray list. Now, normally when a country is on the gray list, I really am concerned about the banking and the spotlights on that country. But coming off the gray list for quite some time now does make Panama a safer jurisdiction than before. So this is definitely a permanent residency for the elite. So if you have some money to diversify, you want to buy a property, a beautiful property in Panama, maybe it's a sea-facing condo where you and your family can enjoy it, or you're renting it half the time, whatever the case may be, you can acquire an excellent permanent residency in Panama. The next one on the list is Dominican Republic, again a permanent residency in Latin America. As I just came back from Dominican Republic, it's a beautiful country as long as it's a safe country, as long as you're picking your pockets correctly, right? So all of Dominican Republic, if you talk about going to some shady areas in Santo Domingo, that's a crazy idea. But if you stick to some beautiful pockets, let's say it's Punta Cana Village or certain areas in Santo Domingo, then this is a beautiful option. It is a safe option. You don't have to full-time live there if you don't need to. It starts off with a direct permanent residency. And there are three excellent choices to acquire the permanent residency. One is either you do the same thing, purchase a property for you or your family or for rental purposes. 200K is the value for the property that you're looking at. If you don't want to purchase a property, then you can just use your passive income. Let's say you have a rental income or a retirement income or whatever the case may be, $2,000 in passive income, you can qualify. And the beauty of this option is that you can convert. So let's say you don't have passive income, that's not a problem. Let's say you don't even have active income, you just have some bank balance, that's also not a problem. So there's an easy way to convert your active income or your bank balances into a passive form of investment. You just need to get the letter. After the conversion, that's the documentation that you need, and then you can directly trigger a permanent residency in Dominican Republic. This is not the most powerful passport. This cannot compare with a Panamanian passport, but nonetheless, I think it's a citizenship. The passport does work, so you can actually travel using this passport. If you're a savvy character who likes to get visas on a weaker passport, then this could add that redundancy, that layer, right? Layer of protection that you're looking for. And if nothing else, then you at least have a jurisdiction to go travel, call it as your home, call it as your country, call it as your nationality. So you're going to be a proud citizen. There are obviously other options, some exotic options, and those are for the hardcore people. They are for specific reasons. I just came back from Guatemala, one of my personal favorite jurisdictions. There is a permanent residency in Guatemala. I'm not going to recommend that for everyone because it's unique. It is specifically for a certain type of people looking for certain type of access. If you're high on the C4, you have some specific use cases that can only be tackled in the C4 area, then this makes a lot of sense. And again, at any point, you are interested, we have attorneys all these places. The main key over here is to find the best attorney to do the process correctly. You can always click the link, book a call, we can discuss and get you started on any of these options. Now let's switch focus to Europe, the bonus topic here. And I really feel out of all the places in Europe, if you chuck the EU, we just want to, there's enough material, enough in the EU. A lot of people exceedingly coming from the West aren't looking to hop from one tax trap to another tax trap. So they are trying to avoid the EU. But let's say you're not interested in EU and you're still looking for the European region where you want to have a stronghold, you want to have some solid option, then you have the Serbian option In Serbia, it's up and coming. It's a beautiful passport, one of the most exotic and sought after passports in 2024. There's a citizenship by exception, and there are a lot of people who are eyeing this. If you look at the stats of the people who have obtained the citizenship in Serbia by exception, it's phenomenal. It has some excellent opportunity for the right kind of people. So if you have the right skill set, and if you want to start your business in Serbia, you can always have the regular route, which is the temporary residency, as the fallback option, right? So you can always have that as a security, so you're not going wrong. You still have the temporary, and you can still work yourself towards that permanent in 3 years. But in the foreground, you can target the citizenship by exception. I feel the thresholds, and this is not immigration advice, this is my personal opinion based on the research and analysis and working with attorneys and stuff. The thresholds to succeed with a citizenship by exception is far different, far lesser as compared to, let's say, in Austria, where you're looking at several $1,000,000. With Serbia, it's relatively straightforward, right? If you benefit the country, if you have the strong documentation, and we do have strong attorneys who help with the strong documentation, you can always look at the citizenship by exception. This really bypasses most of all the requirements. No language, no residency, dual citizenship allowed, and whatnot. So there is complete flexibility for citizenship by exception. This is not for everyone. So don't start jumping up and down just yet. You could look at the regular residency route if money is an issue for you. But if you have the right skill set, if you have the right value that you want to create for Serbia, then citizenship by exception is an exciting option for a lot of people from different parts of the world. Now, what is my personal favorite pick in each of these regions? I think if you're looking at Latin Americas, I would say Panama is the best permanent residency at this time, in my opinion. If you look at the Africas, then I would say South Africa is an excellent choice if you're looking for a solid exotic permanent residency. If you're looking to live, if you're looking to spend some time physically in Africa, then Mauritius is a better option than South Africa. And then in Europe, I would clearly say Serbia is the hot favorite for a lot of people for various reasons. Great quality of life, beautiful country, and it's getting to that EU mark, right? I personally feel they intentionally don't want to join the EU for a good reason, and I hope they continue to keep it that way. But it's an excellent European country. It does have security, stability. You're far removed from some of the draconian Western influences, so you're relatively safe in Serbia. So it could be a good option for you and for your family. It could be a good plan B, backup, whatever you may want to call it. As I said, again, you're interested, you can always reach us. We can discuss and get you started with the option of your choice. And if you haven't subscribed, then make sure to subscribe. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and catch you in the next one.